Welcome back to the video. This is video number 18 of a series of videos for drawing Conduit in AutoCAD MEP. Alright, let's get started. First I got to configure my desktop here, get rid of the grid, and turn on the ortho right here. Okay, so today for video 18 we're going to create a new drawing called Drawing 18. Okay, so let's do that. Click once on that big A and go to open drawing. Okay, and we are looking for our template. Where's our template? Here's our template right here. Drawing 15. We're going to open that. Okay, while it's opening, okay, it's opened up. All right, so we've opened our template drawing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to save this right away. Save as drawing, okay, and then we are going to call it, I'm going to call this drawing Conduit 18. So Conduit 018 277 bolt, and we're going to save it. All right, you're not going to get this, but I will because I already created the drawing. All right, so there we go. All right, so we've got our drawing created from a template now, and it's up here, Conduit 18 277 bolt drawing, right? And all our XREFs, our references should be brought in, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in one more drawing. Now we're going to really use this XREF manager. If you notice, we click on these things, they all say XREFs, right? External reference. You click on one thing, it lights up everything in that drawing, right? So you look at that. We got the two, if this was the panel drawing, we got the panels, the transformer, and the control point pointer, right? All right, so let's click on the floor plan. Click on the floor plan, you got the same thing, right? You got the floor plan and the control point pointer, okay? All right, and of course, I don't know if we can grab the control point by itself. No, we can't. Okay, so everything is stacked. If you look here and one of these is off in some direction, then you know there's something wrong and you really need to investigate. Okay, so we created our drawing. We need to bring one more thing in before we can start drawing here. So let's go over to this External References Manager. If it's not open, type in XR, hit Enter, and this window will pop up. We want to go over to Drawing, Attach a Drawing. What are we going to attach? Well, we're going to attach the drawing that we made, Conduit 16, 120 volts. So that the drawing is Conduit 016, 120 volt. And we're going to open that, all right? Now, when this window opens up, you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, make sure it's not an attachment, it's an overlay. Unchecked, double check these are 1. Unchecked, double check that these are all 0. And whatever your default here is, use that. And rotation is unchecked, angle is 0, just to verify. Block unit is in inches, factor of 1. If that's all good, hit OK. Oh, what just happened? Well, if you click on this, this is external reference, okay? So this is external reference drawing number 016, which is our low voltage conduit, right? Right here, it tells us that, loaded. Okay. Now, we click on this, you know, we can't draw on any of that, right? Okay, well, because we are now operating in the Conduit drawing 18, 277 volts. Now, this is pretty straightforward, and I think you already know how to do it, but let's do it again. Let's draw ourselves some control lines. Type in PL and Enter, and then we're going to click the back of this panel because we know it's already against the wall. Pull it out, any number doesn't matter, but this number matters. The number the direction in the Y, we're going to type in inch and 5/8 because that's going to represent the face of our strut, right? And we're just going to pull that a little bit past the panel and click and escape, escape, escape. All right, and we're going to do the same thing over here because we don't want the conduits any closer than 1 inch from the panel. So type in PL, hit Enter. Click on that, pull it away from the panel in the Y direction. Now we're going to type in 1 inch in the X direction and pull it back to the back of the panel and hit Enter. Click and hit Escape 3 times, right? All right. Well, we're going to do it exactly the same as we did last time. All right. So we're going to draw our conduit. All right. Well, actually, there's multiple ways to do this. Remember how we did the conduit? We're going to let's see. The other ones were 36, so we're going to make these 30. Okay. 30. Hit Enter. So that's our conduit, is 30 inches, right? Now we could do everything by moving it and doing all the other things that we did, right? Now there's a way to cheat, right? we already have this drawing, right? So why don't we just draw on top of this? So let's do that. Hit Conduit, hit the center of that, and it's not letting me, huh? I thought it would. All right, let's try it again. Conduit. All right, and I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to type in 30 inches and enter. Okay. Well, what happened? It didn't let me. It won't let me do it. Okay, never mind. We're not doing it that way. All right, now that we got our control lines, we're going to draw our conduit. Okay, so let's do that. All right, hit the conduit command. We're going to go over here, pull this up. Actually, we don't have to do it there. We can do it over here too, right? I just do it over there. Let's do it right here. Pull that up, and we're going to type in 30 inches. Hit enter. Okay, so now we just got to do everything to move it. Right now, if we remember the diameter of the conduit, we could do it that way, but you know what, sometimes you don't have time to look that up, right? So let's just use the move command. So type in, highlight this pipe, type in move, M-O-V-E, enter. It'll be good practice for you, all right? All right, we're going to move it in the X direction, which is this way. Type in dot X, all right, dot X of what? Of this to this. All right, so we just moved it there, right? All right, now after you move it, that was a click and then escape, escape, escape. Sorry, I didn't say that. All right, we're going to type again, highlight this conduit, type in move, M-O-V-E, and then which way are we going to move it? We're going to move it in the Y direction. That's this way, right? Y. All right, so we're moving in the Y direction, so type in dot Y, hit enter. Dot Y of what? Of, it's not letting me do it in this view. Okay, so sometimes you can't do it. All right, so let's go to the, everybody come up here to your views and go to a top view. All right, now we're going to look down on this pipe. Highlight it, click on it, move, enter, and we're going to move it in the Y direction. Dot Y, enter, all right, and dot Y of what? Of that point, and where's the strut? Okay, the face of the strut is right here, right? There we go. Click once, click twice, escape, 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 and look at that. Perfect, just perfect. Let's go back to the Southwest ISO, okay? There it is. All right, so we're just going to copy this twice. So type in, highlight that, type in COPY, copy, enter. Click anywhere on the screen, and we're going to move it to the right, 2, enter, 4, enter. Just going to draw 3 of these, right? All right, let's do, how about we add some pipes to this drawing? So let's do this. Hit Conduit. Now we know these are 1/2 inch, so I'm going to cheat here. Is grab that, and I'm going to pull it this way about 36 inches, okay? All right, and we're going to copy, all right? COPY, enter, and we're going to go, let's see, we're going to go 2, enter, 4, enter, 6, enter. All right, we're just going to draw 3 of them. That's good enough. And we're going to delete that one. So highlight it and hit escape. All right, look at that. Okay. Since we drew our conduits with a reference from here, these conduits and these conduits are at the same elevation. Do we all agree? Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is I want to connect these to these, right? Because that's my panel. But I can't just 90 because I'll run into all these pipes, right? You know what? Everybody, let's do this. I want to make sure it's going to run into those pipes. So click on that, type in, highlight all 3 of those, type in move, hit enter. We're going to move it this way about, I don't know, 4 inches. Now that'll ensure that we're going to slam into these, right? So let's click this, highlight this one, turn to 90, boom. What happened? Well, let's hit our shift, center mouse button and rotate that. Look at that. Wow, we just plowed right into all those. That is not a real thing that we can do in the world, right? It's just not going to happen, right? We can also check it in the visual styles. Oh, wow. So if you went to visual styles and clicked on conceptual, that's just no good. All right, let's go back. All right, we are going to delete that. That was just ugly, right? We don't like that. Okay, so what are we going to do to fix this? Well, I'm going to say we kick this one down and then 90 over to these. What do you think? I think that's a great idea. All right, so let's. How do we do that? Well, remember the kick can only be in the XY. It cannot be in the XZ, right? Because we want to kick. This is X and this is Z right now. We want to change this to a Y, X, Y. So what do we do to do that? We got to rotate this UCS. So type in UCS, hit enter. Now we're going to rotate what? We want to rotate Y to Z. Well, in order to do that, X is our pivot point. So type in X, hit enter. Okay, now drag this thing around. And yeah, there we go. Right, that looks about right. Y is where Z was. Click once on the screen, escape, 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 right? So this is Y and this is X, right? This is Y, this is X. So we know we can bend this pipe down. Well, all right, let's try it. Click on this. And now remember, this pipe was 30 inches. These were 36 inches high, right? So let's click on that. Let's click on that. Oh, yikes. No, no, no. Next, 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 next. Wow. AutoCAD just, it comes up with some weird stuff, right? And next, and next. Ooh, no, 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 no. All right, let's go with, I'm going to go with the 30. I think that's much better. Okay. Let's hit A for accept, enter. Escape, 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 escape. All right. Let's do it one more. I guess we can do all three. We can actually start from this side too. Click on that. Click on this. And I don't know if you can get it. Yeah, there we go. Grab that. Yeah, it's going to do the same thing. Next, type N for next. Enter, enter. And it looks pretty good. Accept. Have A, enter. All right, let's do the last one. But the last one, we're going to start from this side. Go out here. Grab this pipe right here. Oh, yikes. I don't know why it wants to do that. Don't you ever do this, okay? That recommendation is horrible. All right. But you know what? We're going to use 15 degrees for that outside one. And type in A for accept, hit enter. All right. Let's go to the, all right. Now, when we're all done bending, let's return this to world. So type in UCS, type W, hit enter. All right. Now we're back to world. Okay. Let's go to our visual styles. Let's go to conceptual. Oh, man, that is sweet, man. That's much better, right? We're diving underneath. Now, if you're really detailing it in the real world, you're not going to use two different angles, right? We're going to keep them all at 30 degrees, all right? So, well, why would this happen? Well, because most of the time, you're going to run everything on one rack. You're not going to build two separate racks, right, at two different elevations. Everything's going to come on one rack. You're either going to dive under or over to go to this first panel, right? And this is just to illustrate one scenario that you might run into, okay? Yeah, it looks pretty sweet, I think. All right, so let's take it back to 2D, take it back to Southwest Isometric. Okay, so at the end of this, we're probably going to click on those, and type E for erase and hit enter, and we'll get rid of those before we save it, right? You know, this angle here is, we'll leave it. I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, so we are done with that. So, oh, one more thing. We got to create a layer, right? This is right now an Conduit standard. We don't want that. So let's create a layer. Everybody type in escape, escape, escape 3 times. Type in LA, hit enter. Boom, this thing pops up. Let's see what we got here. You know what? I can't make it bigger. I got to unlock this. So all unlocked. Okay, I want to make this thing bigger so you can see it. If I can grab it. Okay, here we go. All right, let's pull this guy out. What do we got? We got Conduit standard 120 volt, right? That was in the other drawing. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer, okay? So everybody come up here and click on this. Click. Boom. New layer. So we're going to type, now where it's highlighted, type in E-CNDT-standard STD-277 volt. So we just created a 277 volt layer. Come on over here. And is there orange? Or I don't see an orange. I kind of like orange. Well, I don't know. That kind of looks like orange. Okay, how about everybody? We're going to grab this one. We'll call that orange. Actually, this looks a little more. No, that one. All right, we're going to grab this one. Grab whatever you want. Anyway, color 30. Okay. Let's X out of that once you're done. Okay. X out of that. Okay. Well, these are still in that other one. So highlight these. Come on up to layer over here. Click on that. And see Conduit standard 277 volt. Click on that. So that just, see how that moved it into a different layer? If you click on these, boom, Conduit standard 277 volt. I got to make this a little bit bigger so you can read that, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I'm going All right, so we can see that right now. The rest of these aren't. So what happens is all you got to do is type in MA, hit enter. That's match properties, right? MA. Get that and highlight all these other conduits that you drew right here. All right, so make sure everything is highlighted. And that's our 277 volt conduit, and we got it in the 277 volt layer. All right, let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's zoom back out a little bit. All right. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. Everybody hit Control S to save your drawing. And that's going to do it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.